Howdy ho, everybody. How's it going? How's it going?
Hey, howdy. Hey, Justin. Hey, AR. Hey, Missy. Hey, Glenn.
Yes.
Hey, Mandy. Hey, Fluffy.
She said it. Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing?
Miss you guys bunches.
So I do have a new little background here. I have to show y'all. So Heavy Duty sent this to me, y'all.
Hey, Spirit Stalker.
Look at that. Tell me
Your F-bomb.
My F-bomb. He sent me an F-bomb. Tell me that's not freaking awesome.
I love it.
I freaking love it. So just because of this, I bought this shelf. So we will be with crystals and candlelight from now on. So how is everybody this evening? I can only apologize for my absence lately. I'm sure everybody understands. I did get hit by, well, her and I both got hit. We took a direct hit from Hurricane Idalia, and that was not fun. That was not a good
Definitely
time.
A rough one.
That wasn't. We weren't expecting a Cat 4. First of all, it changed at the last minute. We were only expecting a Cat 2. And then it up to a 4 at the last fucking minute. And I didn't prepare for a Cat 4. So I wasn't prepared. My generator still is not here. Now it's supposed to be at the end of this week sometime. So fucking typical Lowe's. Hello, Glenn.
As long as it shows up, that's the kicker. As long as it shows up. And you have it for, God forbid, anything to come up in the future.
Yes, as long as it shows up. And that is a little bit of peace of mind.
Right.
That I have it. I just got to get that cord. Just that one cord, from the thing to the dryer.
Oh, okay.
So I just got to get the one cord. So I can get that at Lowe's, but I
definitely not, Fluffy. My car got totaled because a giant tree limb from the property across the street, and this just
cut her car in half.
Yeah, it smashed the front end of my car. It hit it hard enough that the insides of my car were hanging out from the bottom.
Cut her car. It cut the whole hood of the car in half, basically.
And mind you, there's probably a good, I don't know, 40, 50 feet between my car and said tree. And the wind was strong enough that instead of the branch just making a direct drop, the wind carried it across and hit my car.
Yep.
So that was the force of this hurricane.
Yeah, it was
intense.
It was all these trees that was at the end of my house are gone. Thank God, because they all landed on my fence. Thank goodness. My fence, I must build stuff good because the fence is not damaged. But the trees are gone. So we're still I've still got a lot of damage in the yard, but that I can do at my own pace. So do it at my own pace. So every day I'm getting out there, I'm raking up some more piles, getting them over to the burn pile.
Yeah.
So, hey, Sandy. So we decided, me and her, we got together and decided, because we just got hit by the asshole, we decided to do our shit on weather tonight. Would you stop it, Lily? Lily.
Yeah, that's a good episode.
What do you mean you got stung?
We could have hunkered down in the piggy pens. Like, those houses even held up really well, too.
Those piggy pens held up more than my house did. I'm telling you. I probably would have been.
Glenn got stung.
I got stung. That's well, welcome to my leg there. My leg with the stone getting stung. Yeah, the pigs were a little scared, but I was running outside checking on them in the middle of the fucking hurricane. I wanted to make sure because one of the trees landed on top of one of the piggy houses out there with Butters, and he was so nervous. So I went out there in the hurricane and I got the tree off of his house.
Was it Butters?
Glenn, I can feel that since it just happened to me recently. They were yellow jackets that got me. Take Benadryl. Hopefully you don't have a. Anyway, so she's got some storms that she's going to talk about. What I did was I picked the top 5 hurricanes, earthquakes. Did I do tornadoes? I think I did tornado. No, the tsunamis and snowstorms, like blizzards. Oh yeah, there's there's wasps that have nests under the ground. There's Julie.
Julie! Let me get back up here. At least he did the snail.
No. We took the direct hit up here. We're about 3 hours north of you, and we took a direct hit here. Yeah. So anyway, I did the. We're going to talk about some badass hurricanes right now. So my first one, which is supposed to be, I tried to pick them all from worst to least, but they were all bad. They're all fucking bad. So back in 2005, Hurricane Katrina, everybody remembers Hurricane Katrina that hit, it came in from the Atlantic and hit New Orleans and Mississippi. And flooded. I mean, people were floating to the top of their 4-story buildings and sitting up there waiting for rescue.
Mm-hmm.
That was terrible. That caused $97.4 billion in damages. Hurricane Katrina. And there was 1,836 fatalities in Katrina. Shit, I think the one that just came over us, there was like two sevens total.
Yeah, Katrina was devastating.
It destroyed 850,000 homes, over 350,000 vehicles, and over 2,500 vessels. Hey, Wee Rider. And it flooded both Louisiana and Mississippi. And they were climbing to the top of the buildings to wait for rescue. And they were up there probably for a week with no food, baking in the sun on the top of their buildings because they couldn't get down. And I remember seeing all that where they were flying in with the helicopters, getting them all out from the top of their buildings.
Yep.
Listen, I was without power for 6 days and I couldn't sleep. I can't sleep if it's too fucking hot. And I couldn't sleep in my bed because that just made me hotter. So I put my stuff out in the living room floor because I had my windows open and I was trying to get some sort of circulation. And the floor is hard as fuck. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep. It was terrible. It was terrible. And, I'm lucky compared to some. There was a guy down my street, almost to 49 there. A tree landed on his trailer and cut it in half. And he rode out the storm in the other half of the trailer. He lost everything. Cut his whole trailer in half. And his trailer was sitting like this, wide open, with the tree in the middle of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And since this hurricane, maybe I shouldn't, but my job really has disappointed me. Really has disappointed how they treat their employees through So we won't get into that. Anyway, number 2 was Hurricane Harvey. Hurricane Harvey was a Category 4, and it hit Texas and Louisiana and Mississippi. And that was August 17th of 2017. That's actually the year I moved here. When they had to relocate the people in San Antonio was one of the bases to take them in. I survived book parody of this. Of what the people that survived the storms. Yeah, well, yeah. That's true. Anyway, Hurricane Harvey, it destroyed 48,700 homes, 700 businesses. It rained for 24 hours straight, had major flooding, and there was 107 deaths. God. Have you ever noticed that it seems like the major ones are from that direction?
Yeah.
From that side. The Big Bend of Florida, all west coast of Florida, Big Bend over through Alabama, Louisiana, and Texas. That we always seem to get the bad ones through here. No, that was Harvey, Hurricane Harvey. Hi, V-Team. So, okay, so then number 3, this is Hurricane Ian. I'm sure everybody remembers Ian. It was a Category 5. This was September 30th in 2022. 162 mile-an-hour winds. There was 161 fatalities. It caused $113 billion in damages. 13 people are still missing, which we already probably know there's 7, but I mean, they're still missing. They were never been found. And this made it made landfall in Florida in the southwest part, and Punta Gorda had the direct hit of that one. It's the backspin. We get forward spin on East Coast. Oh. So the backspin is the worst spin, isn't it? Because isn't that where all the power is coming in from the behind?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, most guys would agree that they get more power from behind, right?
Oh, dear.
Lily, cover your ears, honey.
Did you know?
I'm sorry. I was trying to make a light of it.
Did you know that the hurricanes that are named with the letter I wind up getting, those names get retired more than any other letter in the alphabet?
Really?
Mm-hmm. So, Ian got retired. Irma got retired. I'm not sure if
Idalia just might.
Idalia might, but hurricanes with the name that begin with the letter I are the most retired named hurricanes out of all of them.
Well, I have Hurricane Irma as number 5.
Oh, Irma.
I have a Hurricane Irma. So we just talked about Ian. The size of Hurricane Ian, you can look it up, was as big as the whole state.
Mm-hmm.
So no matter where it went across the state, the entire state was getting it.
Yep.
That's normally not the case, but Ian was a huge white storm. And they did have a 15-foot storm surge, and there was 26.95 inches of rainfall with Ian. No, Andrew wasn't in the top 5. I've picked, and Andrew was actually
Surprisingly.
after Irma.
And I remember Hurricane Andrew, and it was not a pretty one. However,
No.
it's hard to think, and it's mind blowing that there have been hurricanes worse than Hurricane Andrew.
I know. I was in Palm Beach County during Andrew. I wasn't down in the Keys. Now that I've left the Keys, though, I can't go back. I could never go back there, even though I loved working down there. Carol Ann worked with me down there. I loved working down there. I was down there for 8 years. That's ended up being a sergeant down there, but yeah, Andrew that actually came in number 6, and I was just doing the top 5, but Andrew is way up there to me. That's one of the worst ones that I've experienced. Number 4 is Hurricane Sandy. This was a category 3, but it caused $83 billion in damage. There was 233 deaths, and it was 115 mile an hour winds. It made the first landfall in Cuba, then Bahamas, then the whole east coast of the United States and Canada, all the way. It just went all the way up the east coast, sort of like Michael did. Isn't that when Michael went up the whole east coast of the United States, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. I believe so.
Caused extensive flooding, wind damage, and destroyed over 15,000 homes. But to me, Andrew was worse than Sandy to me. I guess maybe they considered Sandy because it hit so many more places.
I think, yeah, because it hit so much, the longevity of it. And whereas Andrew was more of a centralized, lack of better term, a centralized devastation.
Right.
That one went up and just tore up the whole East Coast.
Right. Of the whole United States. Like Andrew to me was worse because it just tore the fuck up out of the whole town. Like Miami was gone. Now, I was in the Keys for Hurricane Wilma. Carol, you were down there. You were still down there during Wilma. I was in Wilma, and it went over across the state. So we all came out, and I was sitting at a red light because it was laying down in the middle of the road. And I heard a bunch of noises, and I turned around. I saw a big propane tank floating down the road.
Oh, my gracious. And
I look, and you could just see the whole fucking wave. It would be a tsunami, I guess. So I jumped in my patrol car, jumped the curb backwards, went all the way up a hill, and sat up there. And it still fucking carried the car down the hill while I was in it.
Oh, my gosh.
So it went across the state, and it turned around and came back across the state.
See, they were worried that Idalia was going to do that.
Fuck, I'm glad she didn't. So that was Hurricane Sandy. To me, Andrew was worse than Sandy. They're saying Sandy was worse, I guess, because it hit more spots. Hurricane Irma is my number 5. It cost $60 billion in damages. That was September 13th, 2017. There was 2 big ones in 17. Mm-hmm. It was the Irma and the Ian. Both eyes. No,
it was Irma and
Harvey.
No.
Harvey was August 17th, 17, and Irma was September.
Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because that's the one that hit Texas.
When I first moved down here, there was Matthew. Matthew was pretty rough, and then there was one prior to it that that was pretty crazy.
Yes, Irma with an I, IRMA. Irma. Mm-hmm.
And see, one of the I ones, I don't know if it fully hit down here. I was still living back home. Isabel hit Maryland really hard.
Oh shit.
To the point that, like, where my sister lives near the water in Maryland. She lives in a part of town called Bully's Quarters, and it's like where a lot of people dock, they fish, everything like that. And there's marinas, stuff like that. And it flooded so bad that the only way to get up and down the road was by boat.
Wow. No.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, let's see. Irma, 180 miles an hour winds. It was a Cat 5. 134 deaths. It costed it caused $77.2 billion in damages. It hit Cuba, then the Bahamas, and then it hit Marco Island in Florida. And it says that the Big Bend of Florida was hit hardest by Irma.
Now, was Irma another one? I don't remember. Was Irma another one that came up the entire state?
I'd have to look at it again. I'd have to
I
look
want
at it
to
because
say
I'm not
Irma
sure where
was
it
another
exactly
one
came in.
that came up, just basically it covered the whole state coming up.
Yeah, it could have been. I'd have to look at it again. But I think it was Mandy. I heard she typed in here that she never really experienced this living in Idaho. Well, it seems like everywhere you live, you've got something. So say in the northern states, you've got blizzards. In the central states, you get tornadoes.
Right.
Like in the western states, you get the earthquakes. And then over here, you get the hurricanes. So no matter where you live, you've got some sort of a fucking storm that you have to avoid. And it's fucking terrible. So the next on my list is earthquakes. Now I do have the top 5 tsunamis as well. So one is usually caused by the other. So there might be a couple that go together here. It shows that my top 5, my 5th earthquake is called the Tohoku earthquake, or the Great East Japan earthquake. This was a 9.1 on the scale. 18,000 fatalities. This was March 11th, 2011. My family in our neighborhood survived the Black Friday F4 tornado in Alberta, Canada. A trailer park was hit and a baby survived. Oh my God, the baby was found in a tree?
Gracious.
Oh my gosh. Well, see, the majority, when you get a big earthquake, that earthquake usually causes a tsunami. So normally after there's an earthquake, about 30 minutes to an hour later, whatever's around there gets the sirens going off that the tsunami's coming, usually. Now this one, okay, so the 9.1 scale, it lasted 6 minutes and it did cause a tsunami.
I remember watching that.
The Tohoku one?
I remember watching that happen, and it's absolutely insane to watch the video. You can look it up on YouTube. But basically, everything, like the water's very, very low. And you see cars driving along the river wall, next on the other side of it. And next thing, there were people in their office building. And next thing you know, it's just constant water and waves rushing in. And then next thing you know, the water's coming up over the barrier wall, and boats are coming up over the barrier wall, and the cars are floating, and
it's terrible. I've seen the videos, maybe not of that one in particular, but I've seen some, and it's just horrible.
Yeah,
it's just terrible.
I remember coming home. I was working at Target, and I remember because I was just getting ready to have Grayson, and coming home and watching that, and just being like completely just shocked at what I was seeing.
I don't want to live where there's earthquakes or tsunamis. At least a hurricane, you got a week advance. You can get the fuck out of here if you want to.
Right.
You might not come back to anything, but you can get the fuck out of here. Number 2 on my earthquakes is called the Indian Ocean earthquake. This did cause a tsunami. This was an 8.6 on the scale. This happened December 24th, 2004 at 3:38 p.m. in the afternoon. There was 227,899 fatalities. Indonesia and 12 other countries was affected by the tsunami that it caused, but they all felt the vibrations or whatever of the earthquake, because I guess of where it took place. It was, anyway, it occurred 18 miles below the ocean floor.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
it's scary because once that water starts coming in,
there's no
outrunning it.
No. It's
like a tornado. Really? Once it's coming your way, unless you've got a storm shelter, there's no really getting away from it.
But even a storm shelter for a tsunami would make me nervous, because what if you're trying to get out and there's a fucking car sitting on top of you where you come out?
No, I'm saying like a storm shelter for like a tornado. I mean, sorry, I should have specified. Right. I should have specified. My bad.
Yeah, we can't have those here because you dig here and you go fucking get water.
Exactly.
Water here. We can't have basements here in Florida.
Yeah. You'd constantly be the foundation. If that was your foundation, you'd be screwed.
In British Columbia, it's the fires. So in British Columbia, do you not get hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes? Like it doesn't do the blizzards, you don't get any of that. It's the fires there, huh? Because I know California was with the fires as well.
Fires and earthquakes
there on the west. Yeah. When I went to visit California, I was over there for like 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
I was so nervous. I was like, oh my God, I do not want to experience an earthquake. And I didn't, thank goodness, because I didn't. And okay, so Spirit Stalker, over here in Florida, at least, where we get the hurricanes, they offer shelters for the homeless people. So those homeless people can go to their local shelters and be out of the storm. So we do offer that here. Monique, you should look up the Great Fire of London. It happened at 1666 and burned up. Oh, hell on earth. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. Oh my God. Fires would scare the shit out of me too.
I think I remember learning that in history.
Blizzards. Oh yeah. Number 3 on my quakes is called the Valdivia quake. It was a 9.5. This is the most powerful earthquake ever recorded, the 9.5. This is also known as the Great Chilean earthquake. Mm-hmm. It was 100 miles off the coast of Chile. It lasted 10 whole minutes and caused an 82-foot tsunami. That's what it said. The exact number of fatalities is unknown, but it's estimated to be about 6,000, and 3,000 were injured.
Okay.
That was May 22nd, 1960. A 9.5. So what is the highest on the scale? A 10?
I think the highest on a Richter scale is a 10.
Is a 10.
I think.
Okay. Huh. Has there never been a 10? I guess. If this is the most powerful ever recorded. Ooh, I don't want to know though. Good Lord. Number 4 is called the Great Alaska Earthquake. It's a 9.2. It's also called the Good Friday earthquake. It happened at 5:36 p.m. on Good Friday, March 27th, 1964. It hit the Prince William Sound in Alaska. It lasted 4.5 minutes, and it is the most powerful earthquake ever recorded in the United States. It caused a 27-foot tsunami, which destroyed the whole village of Chenega, killing 23 of the 68 people that lived there. It caused a massive underwater landslide, and Port Valdez City Harbor and docks all collapsed, killing 30 people there. Right? See, normally if it's a Good Friday, it's bad luck. Now, see, Friday the 13th, I've never had bad luck on. Knock on wood. But usually Friday the 13th, it's another fucking day to me. I've never really noticed bad luck on Friday the 13th. Have you?
Mm-hmm. Knock.
And number 5 for my earthquakes is called the Sumatra earthquake. It was a 9.1. It was on December 26, 2004 at 12:58 a.m. It's also known as the Indian Ocean earthquake. The greatest length quake recorded, and it was 900 feet wide, causing the tsunami up to 100-foot waves and 1.25 million deaths. Also, the longest duration at 10 minutes it was felt. They say it caused the entire planet to vibrate as much as 0.04 inches.
Jeez.
Energy released by the quake was 4.0 joules, whatever that means. Joules. I have the bus window broke next to me. The friend's car smoked behind the bus. The window broke because the truck was holding. Oh. Gosh. I don't want to experience an earthquake, to be honest with you. I just don't. Okay. All right, Fluffies. Yes, send it to me. Oh. That was all my, so I have the top 5 tsunamis now, and some of them might be connected to
the
right. So this one is the Indian Ocean tsunami caused by the Indian Ocean earthquake. It was an 8.6 scale on December 24th, 2004. Cranbrook. Wow. It must be nice, Wee Rider. There was 227,899 fatalities in 13 countries, caused by 800-mile-long rupture in every direction, 150-foot waves.
Oh.
Could you imagine 150-foot wave? I can't. I just can't fucking imagine. Knowing the surfers are probably, ooh, that's the biggest one ever. Let me write that one.
Have a good night, Mandy.
Have a good night, Mandy. I would not want to experience a 150-foot wave. One time that I know of in Michigan history, that Michigan had what was considered a hurricane.
And then
November 10th.
75.
Huh. Michigan having a hurricane up there? Well, I think California had their very first hurricane ever, didn't they, this year?
Something like that.
I think wasn't that their very first hurricane ever that I know of? Because they were like calling people in Florida, like, what the fuck do we do?
Right.
Leave.
Right.
Just go. Just go.
Go inland.
Okay, let's see. Moving on to the next page. I forgot where I was there for a second. Okay, number 2 on the tsunami list is in Lisbon. Lisbon? Lisbon. I'm not sure where that is. Iberia?
Is that like
Germany? Nope, all the way in Germany. Okay, so this says it was November 1st, 1755. It was between 60 and 100,000 fatalities, 60,000 and 100 between those, caused by an 8.5 scale earthquake in the southwest Iberian margin, but felt all the way over in Germany.
Wow.
It says the tremors lasted for over an hour. It was between 19 feet and 50-foot waves, damaged 48% of Portugal, and bodies being removed without being counted. Yeah, I think it was Portugal. Lisbon is Portugal, I'm assuming, right? Because it says 48% of damage, 48% of Portugal. I don't know. I'll have to look up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, up there in Ohio and all those high states, you guys just get the remnants of our hurricanes down here. You guys just get the leftovers. So it ain't nothing by the time it gets up there to y'all, but a little bit of rain. Number 3 on the tsunami is the Krakatoa. I guess I'm saying that right, or Krakatoa.
Seems good to me.
It could be Krakatoa. Just don't crack a toe.
That's right.
Trauma confirmed that it's Portugal.
Okay.
Thank you. Anyway, the August 27, 1883, it was caused by an eruption of the Krakatoa volcano. Located in Indonesia, every time it would erupt, hot gas and volcanic matter called pyroclastic flow would burst into the ocean, causing tsunamis over 100 feet tall to slam into coastal villages. The town of Merak was destroyed and only 2 people survived. Everyone else drowned, and it affected over 300 towns and residents there. So that wasn't even caused by an earthquake. That was caused by a volcano.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Krakatoa. I'm assuming that's Japan, maybe?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up.
Yeah. Number 4 on the tsunami list, Arica, A-R-I-C-A. Arica, caused by an 8.5 scale earthquake. August 13th, 1868 at 4:30 p.m. There was 25,000 deaths, and it had 90-foot tall waves battering the port town of Arica. Two other towns, one in Chile and one in Peru,
Fluffy.
were also destroyed. Oh, bye, Fluffies. Hi, Cranky. Also, 2 U.S. Navy ships containing $2 million worth of supplies were also lost in the wave. So that's just terrible. Krakatau is in Indonesia. Didn't it say that? Oh, Indonesia. Okay. So Krakatau is in Indonesia, not Japan.
Okay.
Trauma Divas being our look it up person.
Okay. She's doing research for us.
Yeah.
Good job.
And number 5 on my is the Tohoku. It goes back with the earthquake, the Tohoku earthquake. The 9.1 started under the ocean floor. All of Japan felt the rumbles. It was 130-foot waves and destroyed the town of Okuma, and it destroyed the nuclear power plant. It was over 130,000 fatalities and cost $309 billion in damages. That was March 11th, 2011. We already covered the date and everything on that one, but I think all I got left is the blizzards. Oh, shit. I'm already going into the childhood bedtime stories. That's the next one.
Okay.
That was 2011, Sandy.
I think she was asking about the Arica.
Oh, the Arica?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry. It was August 13th, 1868. '78 and '79. For what? 78 and 79 is what? I have no idea what you're talking about. Drama. Oh. Okay, so I've only got the 5 blizzards, and believe it or not, they're all in Minnesota.
Really?
I guess I will never live in fucking Minnesota. Minnesota. This is where Trauma Diva comes in with her accents, though. So, number 1, it's called the Halloween blizzard. It was on Halloween 1991 in Minnesota. It dropped 35 inches of snow. Still holds the record for largest snowfall from a single storm. People still talk about it. Kids still went out and trick-or-treated in their neighborhoods in the middle of it. And roads, schools, businesses were all closed for weeks.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me.
The number 2 I have for March 1975. Those don't affect me. Those don't affect me. Well, good for you, Trauma. Nothing really affects you. You get the remnants of hurricanes. You don't get earthquakes. You don't get tsunamis. What the hell do you get? Anyway, 1975, 2 blizzards just days apart. So the first was March 23rd, and the second was on March 26th. It dumped over 2 feet of snow in Duluth, Minnesota. She says she gets cramps.
Oh.
Also, high winds and high waves on Lake Superior made it worse. No, thank you. Number 3 in blizzards, February 28th, 2007. It snowed over 20 inches in Duluth, in Minnesota, and caused major problems throughout the North Shore. Winds were at least 50 miles an hour and blew the snow into towering drifts. Now, I don't know what a drift is. Do you?
I think like already accumulated. I thought a drift was like already accumulated snow.
Oh, I have no idea. I don't live where there's snow, so I'm not quite sure of the lingo. So I'm not sure what a drift is. So the storm was for over 3 days, and most were digging themselves out for over a week after the snow stopped falling.
Damn.
2 more. Another one from Minnesota. October 1880, snow drifts topped 20 feet in southern Minnesota, and schools and roads were closed for about 2 months. This was the earliest blizzard in Minnesota history and has held that record for over 100 years.
Yeah,
And
Justin said that's just when the wind blows the snow into a pile.
Okay, so if there's a big pile and more snow is blown on top of it, is that what it's okay? Big snow wall from high winds. Okay, I gotcha. Okay. And then number 5 on the blizzards is Armistice Day, 1940 in the Twin Cities. November 11th, 1940, a slow-moving, unexpected storm caused more than 50 deaths, and 59 sailors were lost in the storm on the Great Lakes. Over 30 inches of snow fell. So whatever Armistice Day is, I'm not real sure what Armistice.
I haven't heard of. I don't know what that is.
Yeah. So if anybody knows what Armistice.
Come on, Trauma, you're slacking. What is it?
Armistice. Armistice Day. If anybody knows what that is. That's all I've got. Just the top 5 of stuff. When did I say the last one was? The last one? The Armistice? 1940. November 11th, 1940. Okay. Armistice commemorates the signing of armistice, which brought an end to the First World War.
Oh,
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. Trauma. That's what they used to call Veterans Day. An end to the First World War. I don't think that would be called Veterans Day. And remembers all those who gave their lives in service to their country since 1914. Well, maybe it is Veterans Day. My bad. She was still typing, I guess.
Gotcha.
So I just did the top 5s.
So what I have is I did some research on what was called the perfect storm, which everyone I'm sure is for the movie. Basically, it's regarding the storm that sank the Andrea Gale back in 91. And basically, the storm occurred between October 28th and November 4th of 1991 in Gloucester, Massachusetts. It was an unnamed hurricane, and of course, afterwards, they wound up calling it the no-name storm as well as the perfect storm. It occurred with 30 to 60-foot waves and some reports of 100-foot waves.
Wow.
And basically, yeah. And for the area that it was in, it's as they said it's not common, but then again, with the situation, it's not uncommon. The way it was worded was just, it made sense to me.
Yeah.
Basically, it's an event, a meteorological event aggravated by a rare combination of circumstances. The term is used by analogy to an unusually severe storm that results from a rare combo of phenomena. So basically what the perfect storm wound up being, that's correct, Missy. Basically what it wound up being was an extratropical cyclone. Now what that is, it's capable of producing anything from cloudiness and mild showers to severe gales, thunderstorms, blizzards, and tornadoes, all just from this particular type of cyclone. It only occurs.
Massachusetts got all that up there.
Well, it's basically what causes it is you have nor'easters coming down from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
You have remnants of tropical based storms coming, up from, like hurricanes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And when those two collide, because just like any type of weather, when the heat and the cold mix, it tends to,
right,
it makes a storm out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, however, they only occur in the middle latitudes. For the northern hemisphere, it's from 30 degrees to 60 degrees from the equator. I don't recall the degrees for the southern hemisphere.
Okay.
Right, Justin. That was one that the storms basically collided. So, yeah. It produces, rapid change in temperature and dew point along the weather fronts. They can last several days to well over a week. So basically, like I said, with this one is that the cold from Canada and leftover heat from the Atlantic Ocean, because again, this happened at the end of October. So all of that kind of hitting to each other caused this extratropical cyclone. Surprisingly, this storm was neither one of the worst in terms of wind severity or precipitation, and the impact of people and property. It was an extraordinary confluence of atmospheric ingredients and unique in its evolution is what made this storm so notable. So we have basically of what causes it, again, is warm air from a low pressure system coming from one direction, cold, dry air coming from another direction, and then the tropical moisture provided, again, from a storm or the hurricane. So, as Missy said, it had been leftover remnants from Hurricane Bob, and there was a nor'easter coming through Canada. So it caused
a double.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not uncommon for that, as I said, it's not uncommon for those to collide with each other if the systems are strong enough. If anything, coastal areas from Massachusetts to Puerto Rico experienced flooding, high winds, and beach erosion. Now that's a hell of a long way.
That's a hell of a long way. Yeah, from Puerto Rico. Yeah, shit.
That is a lot of area.
Yeah.
And that's, that's thousands of miles.
Yeah.
Then President George H.W. Bush's house in Maine had severe damage. The windows were blown out. It was flooded, and it had structural damage. Homes and businesses were knocked off of their foundation. Seawalls, boardwalks, bulkheads, and piers were completely wiped out and reduced to rubble. The boats, a lot of boats were sunk, and lobster traps, which is a lot of what their main economy is up in New England.
Mhm.
A lot of lobster traps were destroyed. The Hudson, Hackensack, and Passaic rivers had tidal flooding. So that's scary, because those really aren't little rivers, and that's just.
Yeah, she's talking about what's considered the perfect storm. It was an unknown hurricane, and they actually made the movie The Perfect Storm after it. Heavy Duty's asking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There was a federal disaster area declared for 7 counties in Massachusetts, 5 in Maine, and 1 in New Hampshire. And then large-scale disturbances for the national park system. Cape Cod, Massachusetts caught effects of it. Fire Island and Gateway National Recreation Area of New York. And then also Assateague Island in Maryland.
Okay.
Had a lot of, ecosystem and, just overall flooding damage from all of it.
Yeah. I haven't seen the movie. I'm going to have to watch the damn movie now. I haven't seen the movie.
I vaguely remember when the movie came out and everybody said it was really good. And from what I understand, it's fairly accurate. Like
I'm trying to think of her name that I think, if it's the movie I'm thinking of, I'm trying to think of her damn name that stars in it.
I know it's got George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg in it. I'm
trying to think of her name. It's not Helen Hunt, the one that looks like Helen Hunt. It's but she's a bigger star than Helen Hunt. Jodie Foster. Is it Jodie Foster in it?
I don't recall.
Because I think I saw the one with Jodie Foster in it. They're like storm chasers.
No, that was with Helen Hunt. That was Twister.
All right, that's what I'm thinking. So those two look alike. So I was thinking one's the other one. So my bad. I haven't seen The Perfect Storm then. I'm going to have to watch it. Going to have to find it and watch it. Diane Lane. Diane Lane plays in it. I like Diane Lane. Twister. I watched Twister. Twister was a good movie.
I love Twister. That's one of my favorites.
I got 11.25 inches of rain from the last storm. Ugh.
Cool.
That's,
that?
Heavy Duty.
I
have to say, though, this Idalia that went through did not put down a lot of rain. It was more wind than rain.
Mm-hmm.
Just when I was running outside for an hour videotaping, and I barely got rain on.
It was that wind that was just...
Yeah, the wind, it was more wind than it was rain.
Yeah. I don't know. Storms suck. And like I said, no matter where you live, you got something. Like we're in the British Columbia, she gets fires, there's earthquakes and the tsunamis and all that. And I just, wherever you live, you get something. And we get the hurricanes here, and everybody always talks about, oh, you can't move to Florida because of the hurricane. Well, you know what? At least you got fucking notice.
Yeah.
You got a week's notice.
Because that's like
You got a
people,
week's fucking notice. You see it's coming.
people who live out in like Nebraska and
Mhm.
Kansas and all that, they deal with tornadoes, and they
don't know what's coming until it hits the fucking ground.
And then there's sirens going off, and it's like you've literally got like, if you've got 5 minutes to get out of its way.
Yeah. I don't know. I see these videos of these storm chasers. I'd rather hunt ghosts. I'd rather just go hunt some ghosts. I don't want to hunt no damn storm. I don't want to chase no storm. I don't need to be in the middle of something videotaping shit. I don't. And where are you located, Rick? Like it's hot as balls. Like it just, oh God. I'm ready to fucking move to Alaska. I'm saying. Which storm, heavy duty, are you talking about? The one that hit us? Oh, Rick is in Maryland. He said it's just hot here, 100 degrees. Well, yeah, that's
Yeah.
Welcome to fucking Florida weather right there.
Look, I'm from there. I know it's been hotter up back home than it has been down here.
God.
Yeah.
The humidity is what gets me. My God.
Yeah.
It's terrible. I open the door and I feel like I'm walking into Satan's ass gas. You know, you just breathe it in, you're like, you can't breathe. And it's just so fucking humid and hot. And it's like you're breathing in wet fart air. You know, yeah. No, y'all don't get disastrous. Y'all just get our leftover remnants.
Maryland had an earthquake. Gosh, it's been 13 years.
But earthquakes aren't really known over here on the east side.
Well, that's the thing. The earthquake, it was so bad that it lasted long. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't an intense one. Like, it didn't cause a tsunami or anything like that. Right. However, it did enough damage that the Washington Monument had to be shut down so that they could repair it.
Oh my God.
Yep. The Washington Monument, because that's the real tall one in DC that sits between the Capitol and the Lincoln Memorial, and it actually got shut down for repairs. That's from that earthquake.
No. There was just a few years ago that there was an earthquake felt in Georgia and everybody was freaking out. And it was before I moved up here. It was while I was still down in West Palm. And I was like, I didn't feel shit.
Right.
On the East Coast, just tremor. I've never felt a tremor. I don't want to feel a fucking tremor. I don't want my walls to shake. I'll freak out. I'll be crapping my pants. You did crap your pants?
I mean, it happens.
No. I do not want to feel nothing shaking and the house tremor or the ground moving. I don't want to feel none of that shit. Just move on. If we start getting earthquakes here in Florida, I'm moving out the fuck. I'm moving out of here. What do you mean?
You have earthquake in the Carolinas? Well, y'all had, I know in Louisiana, they've had, really? Heavy Duty says he gets earthquakes all the time there.
What does he fart?
She says, is it from your farts, Heavy? Oh. And Glenn, I know in Louisiana there was a lot of fires going on. I don't know what a tectonic plate is, Trauma. I'm not quite sure what that is.
Oh my gosh, Glenn, that's
oh my
terrible.
God, Glenn, you have the worst luck. You get injured at work all the time. Now you've gotten stung, and now you almost lost your house. How did you want from a fire?
I'll have to ask a friend of mine. She lives in Louisiana. She lives over in Lake Charles.
GTS it. What does that mean? What does that mean, Heavy Duty? GTS it. Hey, Nerd Witch. Hey, Sonia.
Hello, hello.
I don't know. I think it's crazy that wherever you live, you get something. And it's just. No, I don't. Well, a body trimmer is a little different. If someone's making you feel a body trimmer, that's a little different. Okay. If I'm outside and I feel the fucking earth shaking, or if I'm sleeping and I wake up to the shit falling off my walls because the whole house is vibrating, we's gonna have a problem. Me and Mother Nature is just gonna have it out. And I'm moving the fuck out of here. I'm moving to Alaska. And that's GTA. Google that shit. Oh, Google that shit. Yeah, okay. That's what GTS means. Google that shit. And I Google everything too. I don't know why we didn't know that. The plates are what shifted under the ocean to cause the earthquakes and tsunamis. Oh. So a tectonic plate is what causes under the ocean that causes the earthquakes and the tsunamis. Okay, that's what a tectonic plate is. I'm learning something new.
You went in the past again. Glenn's time traveling.
Glenn is very good at time traveling. We know that from experience. My goodness. Well, so we're at an hour and 10 minutes. So we're gonna I've got one of my other podcasts coming up is childhood bedtime stories. So I can't say that I ever had one of my parents come in and read me a bedtime story, but I do remember reading all these books, and it's just stuff that we all knew growing up. This was Trauma's idea, so I'm going to wait for her to do that one with. So she might be on with me Friday night, but if not, she's going to let me know, and I'm going to do that one with her. So that one will be coming up. Other than that, I'm so glad everybody joined us this evening. And I thought it was fun. I've learned a lot.
Yes.
I always seem to learn a lot on these. I like it when we do that. I am going to start looking into some more of that past stuff, that we like.
Yeah.
Digging in the dirt and stuff, finding things, treasures.
All about it.
So, but yeah, I had a good time. So I will be on again Friday night. Have I heard from Patty? Patty's doing fine. She finally reached out to me. I guess day 5 of my issues. She finally reached out to me and was like, shit, I had no idea that you were in the direct line of it. And I didn't know you took a direct hit. She's like, I just knew I didn't get hit, so I didn't pay no more attention to it. So, but yeah, she reached out and everything's good. We have had 12 earthquakes so far this year. Jesus, I wouldn't live there. Nope. I'd be moving.
Absolutely not.
Nope. It's only fucking September and you've had 12 earthquakes already this year. Nope, I'd be gone. Hello, Lee.
That's more than one a month. No, thank you.
Which Friday? Shit, I don't have a calendar in front of me. What's today? Oh shit. Next
Friday.
I'm sorry. I've got my days wrong. Today's Wednesday. I'm on day shift currently. So I know. So tomorrow night I have to be in bed by 7. So that means I work all fucking weekend and then I'll be off Monday. So Monday I will be on podcast. Possibly Trauma Diva is supposed to let me know if she can come on with me Monday. If she can't come on with me Monday, she's going to be coming on with me next Friday, whatever that date is. Yeah, not in 2 days. I'm sorry. I do work this weekend. Sorry, I got my days mixed up. So Monday, I'll be on either with Trauma or with my bitch here, or we'll figure out something. But yeah. So thanks everybody for being patient with me as well when I didn't have power, and thanks to all that reached out and checked on me and everything. That does mean a lot.
Yes.
And me and my bitch here, we were talking every day, making sure each other was okay. And so, we got each other here all the time.
Agreed.
She never showed. What do you mean she never shows up? Who never shows up? Anyway, I'm going to be over on TikTok for a little bit longer. I'm going to end it here though. And I hope everybody has a wonderful night.